Something ached in my heart. Damn, it was as if I could feel it being torn apart in two as I stared down at Kara. Sweet Kara. She was asleep now because Darius, for all his lack of fair intuition, had managed to bring calm to her mind. But before that, she'd been a writhing, mumbling mess, whispering, crying, eyes shut and hands clawing at some invisible force. If it wasn't for the fact that I was worried about her, I could have seriously gone for Darius, the one who was stupid enough to put her in this condition. Him losing control of his sea. I got that. I seriously did, despite my outburst in Raoul's room minutes ago. But this? How the F could he have been so stupid? It was only concern for her now that kept me focused, kept my mind in a zone where I could think. Because hell, she needed us to think. She needed us to do what we had promised. Take care of her. Take care of her. We'd done a damn job of it so far, hadn't we? We have to tell Raoul. It was the first thing that came to my head. Darius was sat on one side of her, while I was on the other, both our backs against the headboard. He now trailed a hand over her damp forehead, smoothing dark tendrils. His touch so gentle, soft. It was difficult to believe it belonged to one of us. You heard what he said upstairs. He doesn't deal with... You heard what he said in his room. He doesn't want to deal with any of our stuff anymore. But surely in this case, he wouldn't back off. This is serious. Darius' eyes met mine. A soft glow in them. Not the one that we were accustomed to as Fae, but something else. A remnant of fairyland. I looked away from the reminder of what he had done, saying, surely he wouldn't hand her over. You really think so? He might just do it. It was the reason I had agreed to send her away before. To break the contract. Refuse her as a blood bride. Because I was afraid that Raoul might use any excuse to get rid of her. Send her to the elders. If it gripped my heart in this condition, how would I be able to bear Kara, one wiped of love, art, and joy? What other choice do we have, I asked. He's going to find out sooner or later. Change it to, we can't heal her. Maybe we can, said Darius. We don't have Raoul's magic. But we do have our natural fey magic and our instinct. She's been taken by some darkness, so it makes sense that if I use more of the light that I used to calm her, but too much, and even that could be dangerous. More dangerous than sending her to the elders. I didn't have an answer to that, but neither did I like the idea of both of us taking her on to heal Kara. Not when we hadn't bothered to develop any of our magic over the years. And now I could have kicked myself for my goddamn lazy attitude. It was something that I'd always left to the future. After all, there were agreements between humans and our kind, saying that we wouldn't use excessive use of magic. So to me, it had always seemed like a useless skill, until now. Now it was a skill that would have come in goddamn handy. What if we get it wrong? Neither of us are strong enough to get it wrong. The magic just calmed her now. All we need to do is keep her calm. This will eventually leave her system, but that could take days, weeks. Whatever had taken her had her in a strong grip, and it wouldn't let go easily. Not this time. Then we wait. And what? Keep her hidden from Raoul all this time? We just tell him that she's busy with her art. Or that she feels awkward facing him. And if it does take weeks, you expect to keep that fast going. Hardness entered Darius's voice. Do you have any other suggestions? No, I didn't. The only person we'd ever turned to when we had a problem was Raoul. And he wasn't an option now. You're sure, Darius? We won't harm her? He shook his head. She is in the grip of strong magic, that's for sure. But it will leave her system. She just needs time. At least I was grateful that at least one of us had paid attention during those mandatory classes all Fae children went to. And perhaps because of his music or artistic inclination, Darius had always been more connected to his Fae instinct than me. And what about Raoul? I said. What if she throws out magic by accident? He's gonna know straight away. I've already thought of it, said Darius. Hell, I lay awake all night thinking of it. I believed him. Dark circles under his eyes. That on the way here I'd put down to a vigorous night of S. And worry lines. Almost as if he was going the same way as Raoul. We can throw up magic shields around her. Keep the magic trapped in. Another half-baked idea, I wanted to retort. Instead, our shields aren't strong enough to protect her. Before mentioned instead, needing to keep my thoughts in check so we could help her. I said, do you really think our shields will be strong enough to keep her magic in? All Fays had the abilities to throw mental shields, protect an invisible bubble that protected anything from getting in or getting out. We'd used them for fun when we were children, but since being adults, Darius had only used his now and then when he was in his studio and absolutely wanted to make sure that nobody disturbed the F out of him. Something that I had been tempted to use in my office, but hey, I lived with humans, which again meant I hadn't had much chance to use my magic. Maybe if we both join our shields, it will work. But neither of us are able to hold shields for as long as Raoul is. Then we keep throwing them again and again. It would drain us, but it was worth it if it might help her. As if reading my thoughts, Darius said, and we don't have to have them around her all the time. In between, I can keep sending her light. It will keep her calm and also hopefully help neutralize the magic faster. If you could send her light, why the hell didn't you do it before? The whole of the magic might have gone from her system before she bloody crossed over. I didn't know it was going to come to this, did I? And Raoul hadn't mentioned the possibility of her crossing over. Or else even I would not have been so stupid. I took one of Kara's lifeless hands in mine, intertwining my fingers through it, stroking the back of her hand. I was gratified to see the slight smile that touched her lips. She responds to touch, I said. Yes. Connection. It was what one kept her with me when we left Fairyland. Or else. Don't say it. It scared the S out of me, thinking that she might have somehow got left behind there. That the Kara who we saw now, lifeless, asleep, was all that would have existed for always. I still couldn't believe it. A human crossing over to Fairyland. We were always told that it was impossible, that their DNA could not withstand the assault. Excuses given to money-hungry entrepreneurs, human entrepreneurs. Do you think it's happened before? I asked. Do you think any other humans have crossed over?